There's a good reason they run Toyota Land Cruisers up and down the African continent as UN vehicles. These are among the toughest trucks that you can buy. But we're not in Africa. We're in Sydney on a rainy winter's day to find out if a truck this indestructible still has relevance for the family SUV market.
I'm Tom Baker, this is Chasing Cars, and today we're bringing you one of the most imposing vehicles on the road, the Toyota Land Cruiser 200 series. A stellar reputation for reliability, toughness, and go-anywhere ability has made the full-size Land Cruiser a real favourite in Australia. The harshness of the conditions in the Australian outback necessitate a car like the Land Cruiser 200. But what is this enormous truck like as a vehicle to run every day? The Land Cruiser's cabin has changed very little over the best part of a decade, but it's still quite an attractive interior. This is the flagship Sahara model, which comes in at around $125,000 on road, and you do feel like you're getting your money's worth in here. There's soft but still durable leather, wood grain trim abounding in the cabin, and some classy metal accents. Plus, the Sahara model gets this large, crisp, easy to use satellite navigation system up the top of the center console here. This system also makes it really easy to do things like pair your phone for Bluetooth and Bluetooth audio, and the premium audio system in this Sahara sounds really good. If what you need is a basic workhorse truck, there are more simple trims of the Land Cruiser with really hard-wearing cloth and plastic materials in the cabin, but at the other end of the spectrum, this Sahara is a lovely place to be. Lexus do make an even more premium version of the Land Cruiser 200, which is called the LX 570, but that's a petrol-only proposition, making it unattractive to most buyers of a car this size. Plus, the Lexus LX comes in at an enormous $160,000 on road. Being a full-size truck with a boxy design means that row 2 has an enormous amount of room. I'm 6'0", I've got plenty of headroom, heaps of knee room sitting behind myself here, and the car's wide enough that 3 adults can sit side by side with no problem, and there's virtually no tunnel here, meaning the middle seat is pretty much as comfortable as the rest of them. This flagship Sahara gets a built-in DVD player up here for the kids, who's riding back. You do get your free headphones with it as well. However, the windows are nice and big, meaning the entertainment out there is probably more interesting and more engaging for people sitting back here. And while we're back here, let's talk about the price of the Toyota Land Cruiser 200. As I said, this is the Sahara model, which tips the scales at $113,990 list. However, the Land Cruiser range starts off with the very basic GX model, which comes in at $73,990 on road, and there's a number of models that span the gap between those two prices. This Land Cruiser 200 has 2 seats in the third row back here, although some models actually do have 3 seats in the back row, making for a total of 8. Even though it's a really long car, space is a little bit constrained, meaning it's really best for kids or smaller people back here. Adults will find it difficult over a long distance, mainly due to a lack of legroom. The Land Cruiser 200's boot is one of the biggest in the business. In fact, with the second row left up, there's an enormous 1,276 litres of space, which is more than you get in most cars with their second rows folded down. However, you can make it absolutely enormous if you fold up the second row. As you can see, they come forward, which means that you have a huge amount of vertical space back here and enough room to actually lie down if you're an average-sized person behind these second row seats. It's a real experience to drive the full-size Land Cruiser. Sure, other vehicles have got road presence, but the Land Cruiser 200 series commands the road. Other big four-wheel drives like the Land Rover Discovery or the Mitsubishi Pajero all appear pretty small from behind the wheel of this beast. That size, 5 metres in length, 2 metres wide and 2 metres high, really does define what the dynamics of the Land Cruiser are like to drive. There's plenty of body roll into the corners and the tipping sensation that comes from the body-on-frame construction. But it's just that chassis design that separates the frame, which does the driving, to the body, which is everything you sit in up here. That's what allows the Land Cruiser 200 to remain one of the most unstoppable vehicles on or off the road. While this flagship Sahara model is luxurious and limo quiet inside, there are no compromises to the go-anywhere ability of this car. The Land Cruiser 200 is exceptional off-road, with 2-stage four-wheel drive, crawl control, good articulation, and plenty of electronic toys to keep up your momentum off the beaten track.
These days, there are two motors to choose from in the full-size Land Cruiser. A petrol V8 is still available, but 95% of buyers go for the awesome 4.5-litre twin-turbo diesel V8 that we've got here. It produces 195 kilowatts of power and a stout 650 newton meters of torque, and it's surprisingly quick in a straight line with that throbbing engine note that's so characteristic of a V8. The sweet motor is really only let down by the slow-shifting 6-speed automatic, which refuses to upshift quick enough, making the engine thirstier and louder than it needs to be. However, the car does come pretty close to its 10.3 litre per 100 kilometre claimed fuel economy, with our week with the car, mostly city driving, returning 13 litres per 100 kilometres, showing surprisingly good fuel efficiency for a 3-tonne vehicle equipped with a V8. You do really have to master the handling of a vehicle the size of a Land Cruiser 200 in order to corner safely, but there are a number of other safety features that do keep you nice and secure. 10 airbags cater for all 7 passengers. There's a multi-view terrain camera on this Land Cruiser 200 which can help you park. There's also a good reversing camera. Curiously, there's no hill hold assist or blind spot warning system available on this car. When it comes to servicing the Land Cruiser, it's actually not an expensive proposition, with cap price servicing applying for your first 3 years and limiting your annual spend there to $440 per year. The Land Cruiser then. It's not cheap. It's too big to be practical in the city, and it's about as anti-greeny as you can get. But still, we like this car. The Toyota Land Cruiser is the real deal. If you want a truck that can get your family into the bush regularly in comfort and reliability, this is as good as they come.